I stopped saying sorry for 30 days, and it completely changed how people treated me. Not because I became rude or careless, but because I finally realized how much sorry had been shrinking me. We use it like a reflex, for being late, for asking a question, for simply existing in someone's way. But here's the truth. The more you apologize for everything, the less your words and your presence matter. Have you ever noticed how sorry slips out of your mouth even when you've done nothing wrong? Someone bumps into you, and you say sorry. You ask for something reasonable, but you start with, sorry to bother you. You turn down an invite and feel the need to apologize for having boundaries. It's like we're programmed to apologize for taking up space. We think it makes us polite, likable, easy to be around, but really, it's making us smaller. Here's the paradox I discovered. The less you apologize, the more people respect you. It sounds wrong, right? We're taught that being apologetic shows humility, empathy, self-awareness. And yes, when it's genuine, it does. But most of the time, we're not apologizing because we're wrong. We're apologizing because we're afraid. Afraid of being judged, of seeming demanding, of standing out. And that fear quietly trains people to see us as less confident, less credible, less certain. When I stopped saying sorry for a month, I noticed how automatic it had become. I'd write an email and catch myself typing, sorry for the late reply, even if it was just a few hours. I'd say sorry when someone interrupted me. I even said sorry when I asked for clarity, as if understanding something was an inconvenience. Once I became aware of it, I realized that sorry wasn't kindness. It was insecurity wearing a polite mask. The first thing that changed was my confidence. Every time I stopped myself from apologizing unnecessarily, I felt more in control. Instead of saying, sorry I'm late, I said, thanks for waiting. Instead of sorry to ask, I said, could you help me with this? It was subtle, but powerful. The conversations shifted. People started treating me differently, not because I changed who I was, but because I stopped apologizing for it. Here's why this paradox works. Apologies change power dynamics. When you overuse them, you place yourself beneath the other person, even if they didn't ask you to. It's like saying, my presence needs justification. Confidence, on the other hand, communicates equality. You can be kind and respectful without making yourself smaller. The moment you stop apologizing for existing, people stop treating you like you owe them something. The second reason is that unnecessary apologies dilute real ones. When you say sorry all the time, it loses meaning. If you apologize for everything, your genuine apologies don't carry weight when they matter. But when you reserve sorry for when it's truly needed, it becomes powerful again. It shows accountability, not insecurity. It says, I recognize the impact of my actions, not, I'm terrified of upsetting you. Third, constant apologizing actually creates tension instead of easing it. When you apologize where none is needed, it puts the other person in an awkward position. They have to reassure you. It shifts focus from the actual issue to your guilt. But when you replace apologies with gratitude, you flip that energy completely. Sorry I'm late becomes, thank you for your patience. One makes you seem anxious, the other makes you seem composed. The fourth thing I noticed is that people listen to you differently. When you preface your opinions with sorry, but, or, I might be wrong, but, you weaken your voice before you even start. You give others permission to dismiss you. But when you speak directly, without apology, people lean in. You sound like you believe what you're saying, and that belief is contagious. Confidence doesn't come from being right. It comes from owning your perspective without shrinking from it. And here's the last, and maybe most surprising part. I felt more peace. Because when you stop apologizing for everything, you stop taking responsibility for things that aren't yours. You stop carrying guilt that doesn't belong to you. You start recognizing the difference between kindness and self-erasure. You learn that you can respect others without abandoning yourself. Now, this isn't about becoming cold or arrogant. It's about balance. It's about using sorry with intention instead of habit. There are absolutely times you should apologize, when you hurt someone, break trust, or act carelessly. But those moments are rare. The rest of the time, you're apologizing for being human, for being imperfect, for having needs, for taking up space. And that's not humility, that's self-censorship. If you want to try this yourself, here's how to start. First, become aware. Notice every time you say sorry in a day. Write it down if you can. You'll be shocked at how often it happens. Awareness is the first step. Second, replace sorry with gratitude. It's one of the simplest but most powerful shifts. Instead of sorry for being late, say thanks for waiting. Instead of sorry I didn't respond sooner, say thanks for your patience. Gratitude keeps the connection but removes the guilt. Third, pause before reacting. When something goes wrong, your instinct might be to apologize even if it's not your fault. Take a second. Ask yourself, am I actually responsible for this? If not, hold your silence. You don't owe an apology for existing in someone else's moment of discomfort. Fourth, practice confident communication. That means removing softening phrases like just, maybe, or I think from every sentence. You don't need to overqualify your words to sound polite. You can be direct and still be kind. And finally, give real apologies when they're deserved. Say, I'm sorry, only when you've genuinely caused harm, not when you've simply occupied space in the world. That's what gives the word its weight again. Because here's the paradox. When you stop apologizing for everything, you become more respected, not less. People start trusting your words because they're no longer padded with guilt. They start taking you seriously because you take yourself seriously. And perhaps most importantly, you start feeling lighter because you stop carrying the invisible burden of constant self-blame. So, here's what I learned after 30 days. You don't owe the world an apology for being yourself. You can be kind without being submissive. You can be strong without being rude. You can take up space without saying sorry for it. Confidence isn't about being louder, it's about apologizing less. If this message hit home for you, hit like, subscribe for more paradoxical wisdom every week, and drop a comment below. What's one thing you need to stop apologizing for today? Because sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say isn't, I'm sorry. It's nothing at all.